everyone, and welcome to the Sedona International Film Festival. I'm your host, Carol Kahn. We are coming to you live from Yavapai College, the Sedona campus, and would like to thank our sponsors, Northern Arizona Healthcare. And joining me now are two filmmakers who have returned time and time again. Melissa and John, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks
it's
for having
so good to have you back here.
Great to be back.
Really
yeah,
great.
Even in the snow.
In the snow, I know. I woke up this morning and it was beautiful snow, and it's supposed to continue. So
it looks like a completely different place. It's wonderful. It's like magical.
Yes. So tell me, coming back here, how does it feel coming back again to Sedona?
Oh, we were just so excited to be coming back, and it's great because it was only 8 months this time as opposed to a full year. We were here in June because you guys had postponed. So we were really happy. It was kind of an accident that we had two films to have in this year, but we were just thrilled to be coming back and seeing everybody. And the audiences here are so phenomenal. And we go to film festivals all over the country, and especially now coming out of the pandemic, there are so many festivals that are still trying to get the audience back and get and people here still show up and come out. It's great.
Yeah, it's really neat. Now the two of you work together, so how did that all transpire? I know that you had to meet and get married, and
it was a long process.
And you're still together.
Right.
So we actually met professionally, but 3 years before we even thought about dating. We had a professional relationship, and when John was doing Ghost Whisperer, I was working. I had a company of my own at that point, but I was always loving to come in and brainstorm stories with him, and I liked that actually better than what I was doing for myself. So ultimately, when he decided to make a feature, White Irish Drinkers, well, we said, okay, let's see how this works out.
Yeah.
And I was a producer on it and also a second unit director on it.
Awesome.
Yeah, we just worked really well together. And on Ghost Whisperer, she was always my secret weapon. She's so good with story and so smart. And so we just kind of continue that. And now we do with our short films and all the other things we develop together, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. We always have fun. We always laugh a lot. There's always stress, but
and there's always a lot of laughing at me.
There's always stress. You can't have a production without stress. But I think the great thing about working with John is unlike I've worked with a lot of really arrogant male directors because I'm from that era when all the directors were, and working with John is every time he directs, it's like his first time, and he feels so lucky, and he loves it. He just loves it, and it's a real pleasure.
Aww.
What a guy.
I know.
He is. He really is.
Do you have a brother?
He does, actually.
Okay, I'll talk to you after. So your film, Drummer Boy, has another Sedona alumni, Xander Berkeley, who's been in the film. And I was surprised because watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, because I love Xander and miss him. But we still communicate, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Like with everybody that comes to this festival, we always keep in touch. And I just love that aspect of it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So talk a little bit about Drummer Boy first. I know you have two films, so we'll talk about that.
Yeah, well, the little Drummer Boy came about because we talked about White Irish Drinkers. So we had made that as a feature film, and White Irish Drinkers originally started life as a script called The Little Drummer Boy, and it was set at Christmas, a very kind of dark, slightly violent, well, not slightly violent, father-son tale, urban, very, very dark. And it was all set at Christmas time, and we were trying to use the contrast of Christmas and everyone's happy and merry, but these families are struggling, having a hard time. And so when we finally got to make White Irish Drinkers, we couldn't afford to do Christmas or snow because much of it had to take place in snow. So the whole thing got moved away from Christmas and became a bit of a different movie. But I always had that image in my head of going through these kind of shabby Brooklyn streets that are all lit up for Christmas with a Christmas hymn playing over it. And that image is always in my head. And I was kind of lamenting, every Christmas I hear that hymn, I go, I'm never going to get to do that scene. And so I was kind of lamenting that I couldn't do that in White Irish Drinkers, and then I realized hey, I'm in the short film business now. We can do that. We can just go out and so we, put together this. It wasn't really based on that script so much, just another kind of father-son story. And Xander was a friend of Melissa's, and so she brought Xander to us, and it was a great experience. I mean, it was the first film I had made. We had made, so not after COVID, but live on a set, because we had done 2 other Zoom movies during COVID when we couldn't go anywhere. In fact, the second film was one of them. But it was the first time on set live again, and it was really nerve-wracking. We had to have a COVID supervisor. Everyone was masked, and it was, you could work for 40 minutes and you had to leave, go out into the fresh air. It was very difficult and very expensive because we had to bring equipment in to test everybody every other day. But we did it, and no one got sick. Kept everyone healthy, and we pulled it off.
Yeah, this is kind of a crazy year, right?
Yeah,
and new experiences.
It was it was very new, and it actually, our budget was small, so it was 10% of our budget that we above that we had to put into the COVID stuff, and because we were in a really small space, and it was also, by the way, it was also the middle of summer in Brooklyn, and it was hot and humid and miserable, and it was really difficult at that, but you could look at the photos, and the crew stayed masked. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. Everyone took it very seriously, and I think that made the difference.
Yeah, and doing shorts, since you said you've been doing more shorts, do you enjoy doing shorts? Is it the same, like almost, not so much length of time of doing a full feature, obviously, but does it really go any faster doing that, or what's the difference for you between?
Yes, I mean, it's a mixed bag for me. I mean, mostly I love it for so many reasons. The main ones being that I don't have to play Mother May I with anybody. There's no studio, there's no network.
Does that mean?
Yes, but I don't mind. So, we cast it the way we want, we tell the story the way we want, and if I need something else and I can pay for it, we just do it. We don't have to ask. So that's all great. And we get to work with really wonderful actors because, unlike I think maybe 20 years ago, actors are really open now to doing different kinds of media. And if you can write them a really good role, they'll do it. And so we've had some wonderful actors, Peter Riegert, as you know, and Xander, of course, and people who really love to come on board. It's only a couple of days of shooting,
right?
And it's usually near where they live. So that part of it is all great. The part that's less great is that you don't always have the equipment that you would wish for. You do wish you have a little more time. We have to write them in a way that they can be shootable in 2 days or 3 days tops. So they tend to be limited in locations, and so sometimes it's an advantage because you can kind of really make the location work as a character. Other times it's frustrating because you want to open it up, a little bit. But by and large, as a way of staying creative while I'm struggling with the sort of glacial pace of Hollywood development, which drives us both nuts, we can just get things done. We can tell stories, we get the idea, we go out there and do it, and it's done, finished, and we get to come and watch them with an audience.
I know.
At the film festival, it's great.
And because of, I don't want to jump ahead, but because of COVID, we actually were able to make 2 very cheaply, and so we could have a couple done in a year, which was great. Because it was nice to, and we actually just finished another one in Paris, which was really exciting because we had to shoot everything exterior, and we were sort of running around. We had a certain permit. It was in August, so it was very quiet, and it was so much fun. I mean, it gave us an excuse to go to Paris.
We hope to be here next year with that one.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Yeah.
Keep coming back.
Yeah.
So, and then your next film, tell me a little bit about that, because it's more like an AI film, correct?
Yes, Welcome to Forever. It's my first kind of sci-fi piece that we tried. And again, it just came from the frustration of, we couldn't go out there on a set and make a movie yet. We just couldn't, it wasn't safe enough. And so we had done a film the year before, at the height of the pandemic, all through Zoom, which was, it had 5 actors and a lot of moving parts, and it played here last year.
It actually won best comedy.
We won best comedy. Yeah. And that was a blast to do, and all the actors could stay at home. So we thought, let's try something this time that we wouldn't do via Zoom, so we could make it better quality. So we figured, let's shoot it on a 4K iPhone. I directed it through Zoom. We produced it through Zoom from New York. The two actors were married to each other. They were in Vancouver. And so I directed by Zoom, and they shot it themselves with an iPhone, setting the camera. I would tell them where to set it, and luckily they were game. And we just did this little kind of sci-fi thriller, and it was great fun. We shot it in 2 days, and it's done really well. People seem to really enjoy it. It's done well at film festivals, and here we are with it.
Well, it sounds like that you get to experiment with a short a little bit more so than you would definitely with a feature film.
And it's great how just supple you can be, because out of necessity, it's a small crew. We can't afford a big crew. Mm-hmm. So you've got people doing double duty. The art director also does props. And so it gives you a great feeling of camaraderie. And for me, it often makes me think about being a kid, because I made these kind of movies when I was 13 or 14. Just get my friends together and we'll do this movie.
Yeah, let's put on a show. Hey, let's put on a show. You can be the producer.
Right.
You can be the director.
You got the whole team.
So you can really move fast and get a lot done, and it just doesn't have the giant footprint that a big TV production does or a feature film does. You just kind of come and go, and people barely know we're there.
So your next film that you're going to bring here to Sedona?
Well, we are working. The French thriller is the one we did in Paris, which we're very excited about, and we just literally finished that. We shot it in August, and we just finished it at the end of January, and we're working on another little horror piece that we hope to shoot in July, if we can do it without a lot of COVID restrictions. I just don't have the appetite anymore to go back and do that again. So, if we're able to work a little more freely and maybe not have to have a COVID coordinator and all that kind of thing, we'll do it in July or August. And then we're still developing our series. We're trying to get done. We have a feature version of this French thriller we're trying to do. And, I'm having a novel published this year.
Oh my goodness!
I'm excited about yes. I'm catching up with Melissa. She had a novel published a couple of years ago, so finally I'm caught up with her.
I think the two of you are good for each other.
Yes.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So what was your novels?
Well, mine was published in was it 2013? Yeah, it was a Kirkus best of 2013 indies, but it didn't sell a lot, but it got really good reviews. But it's called Reality Boulevard, and it's listed as a satire, but it's basically kind of more reality than satire about reality TV in Hollywood. Oh, because awesome. I was in the middle of that, and I watched it develop and sort of dabbled in it. My company did some reality, but I've always thought it was really terrible and dangerous, and it actually has proved to be. But it was sort of a very dark, satirical novel about reality TV.
Wow. And John, yours?
Mine is more of a straight-out kind of attempt to do something commercial. So it's a supernatural thriller, and it has elements of body harvesting, organ harvesting. And also a little bit of COVID horror as well. I'm trying to create a new genre, COVID horror. Yeah.
So Stephen King needs to move over and allow you the...
You should be sweating right now. Even a little bead of sweat coming right down here.
I would be very worried. Well, where can people find out about your films, plural?
Well, we keep them pretty close to the vest while they're on the festival circuit. Both Melissa and I are on Twitter. I'm at J. Thomas Gray on Twitter, and Melissa J. Peltier on Twitter. So we always post our film festival doings there, and then ultimately when the films have run their cycle, we put them on YouTube publicly. But we only have one really right now public on YouTube because there's such a vibrant festival life out there for them.
And showing here at the film festival, has it been shown or is it going to be shown again?
No, we just got it last night, and Welcome to Forever shows at 4 o'clock today at the Performing Arts Center. And then Little Drummer Boy shows twice, tomorrow at 4 o'clock at Harkins, and Saturday at 1:10 at Harkins.
Awesome. And you have a workshop?
Yes, tomorrow I'm doing a directing workshop, which is really aimed at younger filmmakers or filmmakers just getting started who are really great technically. They know every lens, they know every camera, they know every visual effect, but they haven't really had an opportunity to learn how to work with actors, and they feel very intimidated or fearful about working with actors. And oftentimes the result is they just don't talk to the actors.
And then the actors get frustrated because
the actor's like, why isn't anybody?
I'm on my own, and
So I like to try to demystify that process a little bit and try to see if I can make these younger directors more comfortable, and just sort of give a step by step. Well, here's how I do it, and this may not be your thing, but here's how I do it, and it might help break some ice for them. So that's the purpose of it. And what's going to be fun is we're going to have 2 local actors come, and we're going to act out a scene in which I'm going to demonstrate how changing the subtext of a scene can completely change the scene without changing a word of dialogue. What the character's intentions are in the scene will make it completely different. So that'll be a fun demonstration too.
Awesome. Well, I think if there was an award for favorite couple, you two would win it. So I'm going to have to talk to Patrick about that and make sure that we initiate a new award this year. Well, thank you both. I know I'll be seeing you around the festival. Thank you both for being with us. So good to see you again, and I know I'll see you next year, right? So for sure. Well, I'll see you anyway, like in a little while. But
Great. Thank you.
Well, don't forget to follow us on social media, hashtag Sedona Film Fest 2022, and we will be back with more filmmakers after this.